Everyone and welcome back. So in this video we will learn about how we can use scroll views in iOS 10. So I will just create an Xcode project and let's name this scroll view, and the language will be Swift and devices will be universal. So let's store this in a particular location. Actually it should be here, and then just hit create. So now Xcode will create a project for us. Okay, so if I go to my main.storyboard, let's close this, and I think for this I will just use this iPhone, which is of the largest size, and then I will demonstrate this to you. So basically first we need to understand why we need to use scroll views in our app. So for that we need to create some UI and see what are the problems that we are facing if we don't use scroll views. So first what we will do is I will grab a text field. We will basically try to build a form. So for that just I will just take UI view first for the top heading. Okay, and I will pin it to all the sides, all the three sides which are left, top and right. We'll do 0, 0 and 0, and let's give it a fixed height of 100 points. Okay, and now let's change the background color. I think I will give this, no, okay, this, no, okay, this color is good. Now I will add a label to it which will display our heading. Okay, so let's pin the label in the center from here. Okay, horizontally and vertically in center, and center align it and change the color to be white and change the text. So let's say register here. Okay, let's not change the font because I'm just showing it for demo. So now what we'll do is we will grab some text fields. So this is my first text field, and I will give it some constraints. So what I will do is I think the first text field should be for first name, and then we need another text field which will be for last name, then we need one for our email, and then one for password, and then another for confirming password, and let's say last for entering your age, and at the end we want a simple button. Okay, this is done. So let's say these are the different, so let's give them some constraints. What I will do this, this and this, and I will give it a fixed height. Okay, and let's give some constraints for this one also. Okay, and similarly we will give constraints for all the different text fields that we have just created. Okay, now for this one, fixed height. Okay, now for this one, add, and now for the last text field, and a fixed height, and now for the button. Okay, I will do the same for the button also. Okay, so our UI is completely built. So let's try to run this in the iPhone 7 Plus simulator. So this simulator is opening up. This is very big. Okay, so let's wait till it's opening. So you can see that now our app is running, but I think nothing is visible. So let's give some placeholders to it. So I will just write first name. Here I will do last name. Here I will do username. Here I will do password. Then it's password again. Okay, and for this it was age. Okay, so now let's run this app. So now you can see that all the things are appearing fine in this app. I think I should zoom it. Okay, you can see that this app is working fine. But what if we try to run this app in our different simulator? So let's say this is our iPhone 7. Let's count. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 text field and one button. So let's change this to 6s. So you can see that this is appearing fine, this is fine, and all the buttons and text fields are appearing. But if we try to do this in our SE, nothing is appearing. Okay, I think this is because we have set the wrong constraints to it. So let's minimize this and let's change our constraints. So what I will do is actually I will delete all those. Okay, I will just keep my UI view, and what I will do is I will just again teach you this by some other example, because you can take either a form or some UI views. So basically I will now show you by UI views because it will be much faster. So I will take UI view. So this is actually our first view. Okay, I think it should be this long. I will add some constraints. I will do horizontal in the container, and then I will give it a fixed height and a fixed width and constraint from the top. Okay, this is done, and let's change this color. I think I will give this color, and let's copy this view here. Okay, and let's delete. Okay, the constraints are fine. Let's add some constraints. I will do horizontally in the container, and then I will add some constraints from the top. Okay, this is also done. Now you can see that there is no more space. So what we can do is just hit this button, which is the view controller, or you can open this and just hit here, which is view controller, and then you will go to the fifth option. Then instead of fixed you can just use freeform. So basically you can just change the height from here. Let's give it 1500, and you can see that now our view controller is very long. So let's build some more views here. So I will again drag this one here, and let's drag it one more time. Okay, now let's add some constraints to both of them, horizontal in container, and then I will give a top constraint. For this one I will do the same, not vertically, horizontally, and then give some constraints from the top. Okay, so this is done. Now let's change their colors. Okay, so let's change this to this one. Let's change this to this, and for the last view I think I should give this color. Okay, so you can see that this is our long view. So now let's try to run this app and see what happens without a scroll view. So here you can see that this is app built without using scroll view. So you can see that only two views are visible. If you try to scroll, it will not. So basically where basically this is where the use of scroll view comes in. So what we want is we want to display all of the four views. So basically for that we need scroll views. So scroll by using scroll views is very simple. So first let's delete all the views, and then what we need to do is you need to search for scroll view here. Okay, here is the scroll view. So basically there are some rules which you need to know so that your scroll views work fine. So the first rule is you need to grab a scroll view and make it equal to the size of your view controller. Okay, so I will go down. Okay, okay, now I will pin it to the all four corners. Okay, this is done. This is done. Now the second rule is you need a UI view above the scroll view. Okay, so this is a UI view. We want it all above it. So let's resize it to make it equal to our screen or the view controller. Okay, so now this is equal, and we also need to pin it to all the four corners. So let's do that now. Okay, and there are some more things that we need to do. The first thing is we need to set the height of the view to be equal to the scroll view. So let's select this and give it a fixed height and add constraints. And the second thing we need to do is we need to make the width of the two views equal. The first view is the view which is behind the scroll view, and the second view is which is on top of the scroll view that we have just taken. So I will select both the views from here by pressing command, and then I will just click this button and I will say equal widths, and then I will update the frames. So this is all the things that we need to remember about using scroll views. So the first step is you need a scroll view and pin it to all the corners. The second step is you need a UI view above the scroll view, and it should also be pinned to the four corners. And then the next rule is you need the height of the top view equal to the scroll view, and the fourth and the last rule is you need the width of both the views to be equal. Then only your scroll view will work fine. So now our scroll view is working, so let's grab some UI views and see whether our app is working correct or not. Let's change the color to be this. Then I will grab this down. Okay, and I will change its color. Let's take this and I will again take another view, and let's change this color to be this. Okay, so now let's add some constraints to it. So I will do horizontally in the container, and then I will give it some from top and a fixed height. Okay, oh, we also need to set the fixed width, so I will just do fixed width, and now I will add some constraints. It's done. Now let's do for this horizontally in center is our first step, and then pin it from the top and equal width and height. Okay, it is done. Now for the last and the third UI view, I will do horizontally in container and then pin it from the top, a fixed height and a fixed width, and I will update frames and add three constraints. Okay, so this is done. So now what we can do is we can just again change our height to be fixed because we have already worked with our scroll views. So this is our small, if we try to run this app and see, now our scroll view will work fine. Okay, so you can see that here is the first view, and if you try to scroll, you can see that this is the second view and third view and so on. So basically the advantage of using UI scroll views is that you can view it in any iPhone size that you want. So what I will do is, this was the largest iPhone available, so I will choose the smallest, which is actually a 4S. Okay, and then I will try to run it in our 4S iPhone. So you can see that I think 4S is not available, 5 is available, which is of the same size. So let's try to run this and see whether it is looking fine in our iPhone 5 or not. So I think iPhone 5 is opening up. You can see that this is the Apple logo. So let's wait till it's opening. It's taking up too much time. So I think after this example I will also show you how you can build a form using a scroll view, because that is very important thing, because in every modern app there is a sign in or a login page, and if that page is very much long, then you need to know how to use scroll views. So you can see that it is opening. Okay, so you can see that this is the first view. If you scroll down, you can see this is the second and third view. So now it is proved that scroll views work fine in all different sizes of iPhone. So let's change this to 6S, in which I like to work. So what I will do is, now I will delete all the views. This was the first view, second view, third view, and let's delete them. I will also delete. Okay, there are some constraints. I think I have also deleted the scroll view also. Okay, no problem. So now let's build a form again. So for that we will need some text fields. Okay, so I will just take a simple text field. What I will do is I will give this fixed width of, let's say, 200, and fixed height, let's say 60, and pin it from the top to 100. Add three constraints, and I will do horizontally in center. Okay, this is done. So now what I will do is I will copy this text fields. Okay, okay, 3, 4, and now we need to change the size. So I will just go here and do freeform, and let's choose it to be, I think, 1200. It will be enough. Let's take another text field, now another one, and one more. Okay, so now I will add some constraints to it. I will do horizontally in the container, and then I will give it a top spacing. Okay, now for this one, horizontally in a container, and I will pin it to the top. Now for this one, I will pin it from the top, and then I will give it a horizontal. Okay, now for this one, horizontally in container, and let's pin this again to the top. Okay, so this is done for all our different text fields. Done. So now let's add some placeholders to them. So I think this was the first name, this was the last name, This was the username. This was the password. This was the password again. And let's do this email ID, and let's do this age. Okay, so now I will change the size of the view controller again to be of fixed size. Okay, so this is done. So let's first try to run this in our 5 simulator, and then we will run it in a success simulator. So we will see whether our form is looking good in both iPhone or not. So you can see that this is the first name and so on. So I will just hide the keyboard by pressing Command Shift K, and then if we oh, it is not scrolling down because I think we forgot to use the scroll views and the views. Okay, so let's add this now. The main thing was to add a scroll view and we forgot that. So let's change the size to 1200 again. Okay, so what now I will do is I will just grab a scroll view. I think it will should work fine like this. Let's check. I have not tried it this way. Okay, this is the scroll view. I want it in front of the view, so I will do it like this. Okay, and now what I will do is I will pin it to all 4 sides. Add 4 constraints. Now I will take a UI view because we need a UI view above our scroll view. Okay, let's make it to the full size. Okay, let's drag it down. Okay, so I will just, it's in top of the scroll view, it's good. So let's spin it to all the 4 corners, and I will give it a fixed height of 1200 pixels. Okay, now I will select both the views and I will give them a equal width. Okay, so I think we are done. So let's try to run this in our simulator and let's hope that that should work fine. Otherwise we have to re-implement this from the beginning. Okay, so you can see that okay, the scroll view is working, but the text fields are not shifting down. This is because we need to do the scroll view thing at the beginning. So what I will do is I will just stop this video right here, and in the next video I will teach you how to build a form using a scroll view.